Serpents from the Garden of Eos. Volume 2. The Atlantis of Hellas in the Middle Sea. Section E1D. The Hinterlands of Sardinia. The Pyramid of Akkadi on Sardinia. Ozieri tribes, 6,000 to 5,000 BAS. Section Introduction. Although it is in the early Neolithic of the Impresso-Filiastru stage that the first primitive villages were built upon the island of Sardinia by the descendants of the navigators of Nu, it is only in the next Bonu Iginu stage of the Middle Neolithic that these first farming communities proliferate and multiply over the entire island. Finally, by the stage of the most advanced communities in the late Neolithic Ozieri millennium, you have the first megalithic structures being made for use as temples, palaces, and fortresses. The Ozieri are also known for their use of giant or titanic building techniques for domestic and funereal purposes, and some of the many dolmen and menhir pillars found on the island were placed by these prehistoric stone architects. The Sardanu is the name of the Bronze Age tribes that lived on Sardinia after the 5000 BAS unification in Egypt produced the first dynasties of the Old Kingdom. The Sardanu were obviously the descendants of the previous Ozieri stage of civilization for the most part, although there is some possibility of further colonization from the eastern regions of the Mediterranean Sea by a people of the Anatolian coast, where there was an ancient city of nearly the same name called Sardis. The Greek historian Herodotus, in his history, relates some folklore having to do with expeditions made by some Ionians of the region into the vicinity of the Tyrrhenian Sea. Footnote number 2. Based on information from Herodotus, there was a tribal group that were formerly citizens of Crete who much later may have helped with some addition of new colonists to Sardinia, linking the former subjects of the sea empire of Atlantis with their more western island cousins. This, however, as the early Neolithic migration from Egypt and Crete shows, was not necessary to produce the Sardanu civilization on the island, which can easily be explained by the already indigenous population of new navigator descendants. By the era of the first war in Egypt between the moon and the sun, the civilization of the Egyptian Neolithic had already spread into the far reaches of the Middle Sea of Nu. The island of Sardinia and the other coastal areas of the sea had already produced a level of civilization that was somewhat similar to that of the Egypts, and these areas had a common religion as well as a common technology, and a trade network that was established between themselves, where they did then exist within farming localities administered by towns and, most likely, some type of regional hegemony. The Sardanu civilization appears to have been organized around local city-states in the same way as the Mycenaeans were in Hellas. The hundreds of new rock-high fortress castles that dot the Sardinian landscape were once the centers of individual townships or city-states, no doubt ruled by feudal lords in the same fashion as were the Mycenaean towns of Hellas. Agamemnon and Odysseus and Achilles must have had their Sardanu counterparts on this western island who ruled each locality from the town that owned the farmlands round about each of them. The ruling hierarchy that governed these townships was most likely composed of a feudal nobility with their attendant administrative, military, and priestly castes that were subordinate to them. Similar to the Aegean lands of Atlantis and Hellas, these Sardanu city-states were most likely organized into larger monarchical kingdoms that included many different towns and villages administered by the ancient equivalent of barons and counts and bishops. Footnote number 2. Herodotus, History, Clio, number 1, pages 163 to 173. Herodotus relates that the ancestors of some of the Ionian tribes were from Crete and that they had previously been subjects of Minos. There is also a summary of later Ionian explorations into the far seas of the Tarsinians and folklore encounters with Tannic merchants. The ruling elite of the nobility should then have been like those of other civilizations have always been, from the days of ancient Memphis until today's more modern societies, a largely hereditary caste of specialists allowed by, and somewhat necessary for, a complex society producing a surplus of food and materials. The possibilities of human endeavor having categorical limits of sorts within the nature of existence, it is almost assured that the Sardanu elite were specialized into some fashion of administering, defending, or illuminating the activities of the massed farmers who tilled the weed-growing fields and tended the cattle, goats, sheep, and hogs. The many hundreds of these new rock-high fortresses upon the island were built by a most feudal society, producing large amounts of surplus cereal, wheat, grains, and livestock.
Mamma mia, that's some species.
Cut spicy meatballs, Jack.
Sorry.
Take 28.
Out, Tony.
And action.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Cut.
What was the matter with that?
The accent.
Cut.
Cut.
Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy.
Cut. Take 59.
And action.
Jack.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when
Jack.
it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer? Alka-Seltzer can help unstuff you, relieve the acid indigestion, and help make you your old self again.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Cut. Okay. Let's break for lunch.
The great multitude of these towns and new Roghai must have been a result brought about by the high fertility of the island's soils and the warlike and feudal structuring of the Sardinia society.
The prophecy which will cleanse the universe and bring us out of darkness.
Besides castes of administrators and warriors, the Sardinia civilization must have included a large proportion of specialists who had priestly crafts and magical sciences as their area of expertise.
Kind of blue, I've got the blues tonight. I need somebody, someone to hold me tight. I need a dream lover, baby, need a lover tonight. Saturday night, I'm always home alone. I need a partner, I wanna have a good time. I need a dream lover, baby, need a lover tonight. Wanna put on my dancing shoes, wanna boogie through and through. Wanna hear him say, everything's okay. I need a dream lover, baby. Need a lover tonight. Wanna put on my dancing shoes. Wanna boogie through and through. Wanna hear him say everything's okay, hey, 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 hey. Feeling kinda blue, I've got the blues tonight. I need somebody, someone to hold me tight. I need a dream lover, baby. Need a lover tonight. I need a dream lover, baby. I need a lover tonight. I need a dream lover, baby. I need a dream lover tonight.
This attribute of the society can be seen in the many other megalithic structures that were built, starting with the Osieri stage of the late Neolithic on the island. These religious structures, such as the pyramid at Akkadi or the necropolis temple at Villa Perucchio are massive in their size and made of enormous, roughly hewn stones, as at Acadi, or are chiseled from solid rock, as at Villa Perucchio. The very production of such structures, with their utilization of great amounts of resources and industry, shows that the Sardanu were a most religious people, and certainly, therefore, had a high proportion of their surplus specialists positioned within the craft of nature's magical science.
I see two great houses feuding.
The Sardanu are mentioned by the mainland Egyptians of the New Kingdom as being one of the many tribes that formed the sea raiders who invaded Egypt and brought an end to this dynastic period. The Sardanu inscriptions made by artists of Ramesses III show Sardanu warriors wearing their horned helmets. This was at the start of the final campaigns in the long and destructive Fourth and Last War. The final Armageddon of night and day that was waged between the lunar alliance led by Atlantis and the solar alliance that was led by mainland Theban Egypt and included its Hittite allies. After the fourth war between the moon and the sun, the eclipse shadow of the Venusian Dark Age descended over the Western world for the next half of a millennium. When the thick, dusty fog did lift from history at somewhere around 2800 BAS, the entire ancient world of the Middle Sea had changed. The great sea empire of Atlantis had, finally, disappeared forever beneath the waves. The Near Eastern lands of the once vast and mighty solar empire of the Hattusa were barren of a centralized state. The treacherous Greeks of a few Hellenic cities of the sun had perished, and their cities lay smoldering heaps of debris near the Dardanelles and in the Botia of Hellas. Even the borders of eternal Egypt had shrunken in, and the lands along the Nile were again recently unified with river fortifications, though they were as yet uneasily ruled by a different dynasty from a new capital at Tanis in the Delta. Out of the dark voids of 5 centuries emerged a new sea power on the abyss waves of night, and this was the renewed mercantile cities of Phoenicia, home of the Canaanite Philistines, who spoke a mishmash dialect of Greco-Egyptian and wrote a new alphabet derived from the cursive glyphs written by the scribes of Atlantis. These hardy sailors of Tyre and Sidon and Byblos set out on a new exploration and recolonization of the now misty and obscure western lands of the Middle Earth Sea. Perhaps with some surprise, they once more encountered their former allies of the night, where they yet lived in the fortified towns of Tuscany, Sardinia, Sicily, Calabria, and Apulia. Footnote number 3. Recognizing their former friends, they later crowded in amongst them, building new harbor town ports along the western coasts of the Dark Sea to facilitate trade between the East and West. One of these new towns they called Cagliari, and another Tartessos. They even gave a portion of the sea in this area a new moniker, calling it the Tyrrhenian Sea, after one of their cities in the Phoenician homeland. Somewhat later, a queen of Phoenicia, having fallen out with her royal husband over some trivial matter, decided to emigrate to these new-found western lands of plenty with her loyal retinue of substantial ships and numbers. Her name was Queen Dido. This is the legendary Queen Dido that is written of by Virgil in his great Trojan Aeneid, an epic having to do with the mythical adventures of the Trojan refugees after the fall of Troy. It is this same Queen Dido who was, by all mythical accounts, the founder of the Phoenician colony of Carthage upon the coast of Tunis. Carthage became a most successful colony of the Phoenicians, and after some few hundred years, during which it grew by leaps and bounds, it eventually displaced the merchant seafarers of the Phoenician homelands and attained the rulership of the waves in the western seas of the Mediterranean, including nearly the entire island of Sardinia. Footnote number 3, Gimbutas, pages 163-166. Gimbutas, after discussing the early Neolithic settlers of the Gargano villages, goes on to give a general description of the Middle and Late Neolithic ceramic artifacts discovered in South Italy. The Sardanu natives did still exist even by this later era of the Venusian epoch, though they became increasingly either absorbed into Phoenician society or were reduced to living in the isolation of the most remote areas. It is more than likely that this mercantile takeover of the Sardanu by the Phoenicians and Carthaginians was mostly a peaceful process, because there were significant similarities between their civilizations. The Sardinia, previous to this, had been a major trading partner of Atlantis before the Dark Ages, and indeed a trustworthy ally of some importance to the great sea empire of Nyx. They had, for many centuries, been a major outlet for products of the Venusian Isle when it was yet an island of Atlantis. In addition to this, along with a possible similarity of language, there was the definite close similarity of religion that linked the Sardinia and Phoenician civilizations. That this was obviously so can be seen from the religious artifacts of the Sardinia. They kept the same religion from the early Neolithic of the cavern-dwelling and weed-growing explorers down into the Phoenician arrival in the new dawn after the Dark Ages. The main goddesses of the Phoenicians were Tanit and her daughter Astarte. The goddess Tanit was the Phoenician form of the Greco-Egyptian goddess Nu or Nyx, the goddess of night and earth. Her daughter, Astarte, was simply the goddess Isis, Persephone in Greek myth, who is also known as Astar by the Egyptians. The god Baal of the Phoenicians was yet another form of the solar horned hunter god, he who was worshipped on Atlantis as Zagreus and Pan in his Twilight version, and worshipped in the lower Egypt of the mainland as either Atem or Osiris. Tanit glyph. The Atlantean religion of the Phoenicians must have appeared most familiar to the Sardanu, who worshipped the same gods, though perhaps by slightly different names. That this is so can be seen from religious artifacts found on the island of Sardinia from all periods of inhabitation, and especially after the early Neolithic colonization by the first navigators of Nu. There was a Paleolithic population indigenous to Sardinia though the artifacts found in their caves are not in any way exceptional regarding the religion of Anu and Nu as practiced by the subsequent early Neolithic colonists from the sea. There should have been a Paleolithic population native to most locations that the Neolithic colonists landed at, with the exception of Crete, where there was most likely no native humans inhabiting this island because of the nautical distances making Paleolithic voyages there very difficult. The new epic's cult of the religion of night was then spread throughout the entirety of the Mediterranean Sea from the early Neolithic period onwards, and did persist until the eventual collapse of the Roman Empire in the West, and even beyond this into the medieval ages in certain places of Europe. This is because the spread of weed-growing technology did not stop at the coasts of the Mediterranean Sea, but the new harvesting technology was eventually carried into the depths of Hyperborean Europe.
Halloween.
There it illumined the evenings of this as yet still barbaric and Paleolithic wilderness with a new serpent cult form of the religion of Anu and Nu, providing bread and drink to the primitive tribes of early humans living in the caves there. Nuraghai Town Fortress. Atlantis of Hellas. Outline for section E1D. Introduction. Section 1. The Pioneer Explorers of Nu. Section 2. The Bonu Iginu Tribes. Section 3. The Ozieri Tribes. Section 4. The Sardanu Tribes. Section 5. The Tannic Settlers of Night. Section 6. On the coasts of a Paleolithic Europe. Summary.